able to live independently in my community. Whether that's having accommodations on the job, having access to public transportation, having access to housing, or being able to go on to school and get an undergraduate degree and graduate degree. The Americans with Disabilities Act has provided protection against discrimination and equal access to various parts of my community. Because of the ADA, I've been able to live an independent life and be a contributing member of my community. As a wheelchair user, the ADA has meant that I have greater access to my community through accessible buildings, accessible transportation, and access to different employment opportunities. Going on to college was always a dream and was ensured to be a reality because of the ADA. I had the opportunity and right to go to college. At St. Norbert College in De Pere, Wisconsin, as I progressed through my 4 years, it became clear that there was a shortage of accessible upper-class housing. During my junior and senior year, I wanted to live in one of the upper-class housing housing units. The college, thanks to the ADA, was able to make significant modifications so that myself and eventually other students with disabilities had access to adequate, safe, accessible, and equitable upper-class housing. It's hard to imagine what life would be like without the protections afforded by the ADA. Despite being born in 1987, so technically yes, before the ADA, by the time I reached school age and beyond, all I've known is life post-ADA. So for me, much of the accommodations and the equitable access and protections against discrimination that are because of the ADA are just a natural course of what I expect to be a part of everyday life. However, I also know that because of the ADA, my life has been made much easier thanks to the great work of many, many fierce and dedicated advocates who've come before me. So sometimes it's hard to imagine what it could have been like not being able to access restaurants or being told I couldn't go to a certain place just because I had a disability. When I think about it, it sounds ridiculous, and yet I know it was very much a reality for far too long. So thanks to the ADA, outright discrimination like those sorts of stories is just plain not okay. It's not allowed. Not only was the ADA a monumental step forward for the community of people with disabilities, and not only was it about protecting people against discrimination, ensuring equitable access, and changing physical structures, it was also about changing people's mindsets and attitudes towards people with disabilities. For so many years, there were attitudes, stereotypes, and stigmas against people with disabilities. And then the ADA came along, people with disabilities coalesced and believed in the power of their own voice and decided and advocated for their rights in the hopes that not only would things change on the ground, but also would change in the hearts and minds of people across the nation.